So, there's a new Miraculous movie. Miraculous Ladybug came out around 2015. It has about 5-ish seasons and has about 2 movie episode specials. And I've never really been a huge fan of this show because it always felt like it was filled with so much nonsense, not to mention the padding. We all know Adrian and Marionette are eventually gonna get together, but the process of getting there is really tiring. Fanfictions usually do this so much better, and I'm gonna be honest, I've read a lot of good fanfictions because they're just really well written, and not to mention the art. It's so beautiful! In my opinion, the main show definitely suffers a lot with poor writing, but don't get me wrong, there's a ton I like about it, but sometimes it's just a huge pain to get through, and you know why. It's clear why the show is like this in general. The first season was a huge hit, so of course they want the show to last as long as possible. They want to pad it out, that way they could sell more toys and merchandise and all that, you know how it is. Not to mention the fact that it's a show for younger audiences, so of course there's gonna be padding because it's a Saturday morning kind of cartoon kind of vibe, and with the whole pacing and everything, you know, they're superheroes, go figure. But thankfully for people like me, Netflix has decided to make a movie that's not quite a reboot, it's more of a reimagining of the first season, kind of. Which I'm definitely all for. Anything to kind of fix whatever happened in this show. I can't wait. Let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer. Oh yeah, there are a lot of you that aren't subscribed, so please subscribe! So this trailer starts off with us seeing the Miraculous, and it's really pretty. It's a pretty glow. Oh wow, look at that budget. I'm definitely surprised. I knew this from Netflix, but I didn't expect it to look like this. I really do hope it does end up looking like this fully. I know sometimes the trailers end up making things look a little better than they do in the actual movie, but overall, like, look at this lighting. It's so cool. We then get a cool shot of Marionette as Ladybug, and her costume is mostly the same, and it looks pretty good with the new fancy lighting. I appreciate how her costume wasn't given the MCU treatment, cause can you imagine like the costume with a bunch of lines and weird panels? There's also a voice speaking to us that's kind of narrating the whole trailer, and they say that the two Miraculous needs to be united. Which, honestly, if you would have told me this in the original, I wouldn't believe you, because the show did everything they could to make sure these two never end up together. It's always so dumb how, oh, Ladybug, you need to give these random kids powers, and you need to know their identity, but that cat dude, no. That cat dude has been by your side this whole time? Yeah, don't talk to him, he's dumb and he sucks. That was mainly my biggest problem with the show. I don't know why Adrian had to get treated kind of poorly, and why it was forbidden for Marionette to know who Cat Noir was, even though she had to figure out who every other Miraculous holder was, that way she can give them Miraculous whenever there was time, like the time of need, whenever there was a big threat. And that's why I'm so hopeful with this trailer, because it's a reimagining. It's not gonna have all that hoopla from the original show. And you can kind of see that because the banter between Cat Noir and Ladybug is honestly really enjoyable so far. It was definitely a bit rocky sometimes in the show, but so far in the trailer, it's great. It's the perfect mix of what they should be. I like their banter a lot, and it feels like they're gonna have way better chemistry than they usually do in the show, which is definitely much appreciated. That's definitely I hate it in later seasons, and definitely a little bit in the beginning, is the fact that their chemistry was kind of non-existent. And to remind everyone, characters need to have chemistry, especially if they are the main characters and they just so happen to be the love interest. I also love some of these shots. It definitely looks like the action is going to be super cool and have a ton of angles and cinematics and all that. I do like how they're putting a lot of work into that. I mean, it is a movie, but like sometimes Netflix is kind of lazy, not gonna lie. Netflix, I'm sorry, wait, please sponsor me. The action looks like it's definitely gonna be very promising. I know this isn't really a whole like action-based movie. You know, it's definitely about Adrian and Marionette being like teen superheroes, I guess, and dealing with their teenage problems, but they're superheroes, you know, let them fly across the screen. Let them be cool and let them have fun, come on. That's why I never really liked the battle they had with the whole team in that, like, what was it, was it season 5 or was it season 4? Because that whole battle, it felt very lacking because you can tell the writers didn't know what they wanted to do with most of these characters. Aren't I right, Turtle Guy? I swear, this guy showed up like 3 times in the show. I don't even know his name. That whole battle in itself was very disappointing. I guess action has never really been that show's strong suit, but it looks like it's going to be a huge thing in this new movie, so I can't wait for that. So Hawkmoth is actually going to be the main villain of this movie, because of course he is. I wonder how they're going to go through with this, because this is the ultimate antagonist of the series. You know, Hawkmoth is the ultimate villain of this entire show. I mean, yeah, he does have his normal akumatized characters as fodder, so the heroes can struggle a little bit and win the battles through hardships and stuff. But like, what happens after the movie? Because obviously the heroes are going to win, right? I'm sure they're not just going to get rid of Hawkmoth at the end of the movie, but why show him at all then? Because clearly this is a movie about Cat Noir and Ladybug learning to be partners and stuff, so they're obviously going to win the battle at the end of the movie because they're heroes, you know? But what does that leave Hawkmoth to do? Is he just gonna be like, oh, I will come back? Because that's kind of lame, but unless they're gonna pull like a sequel bait thing on us where like, oh, Hawkmoth's gonna have some help with a new villain for the next movie. I do wonder how much of this movie is going to be Ladybug and Cat Noir fighting Hawkmoth and his minions, and them being superheroes compared to them being just normal people. In this trailer, it's mostly about the cinematics, but I would like to see them outside of just being heroes. I do understand for the sake of the trailer you need to show all the cool bits and all the action parts, that way people can watch your trailer, but like, this show has always been about, you know, these two characters in their normal lives and trying to be superheroes at the same time, so I definitely want a little bit of that. I really did like Marionette's arc through the entire series, where she was slowly starting to understand the responsibility and try and juggle two lives and all that stuff, you know, all that classic superhero stuff. But yeah, the trailer just ends and that's kind of it, really. There is another trailer that came out like 2 weeks before this one, but it's really short. I didn't think it was really worth watching. But let's look at it right now, might as well. We get a scene of Marionette being her clumsy self and like going through everyone and being like, oh, excuse me, and I'll go and be the first one to say it and point it out. I think the skull looks pretty good. Like, if you compare this to the show, like, this is a 9-day difference. I'm super impressed. I'm honestly loving the look of this movie more and more. I'm super happy that this is getting made. We then get a transformation scene of Marionette becoming Ladybug and some more shots of her being a hero, and then we see Cat Noir as the final reveal. And that's kind of it. Yeah. So, am I excited? Honestly, yeah, like a lot more than I should be. I already mentioned that I'm not exactly a huge fan of the show, but I've always been interested in some way. I've actually never really seen the show. I've never sat down and actually watched a full episode. I've only ever seen clips or people explain like what happens in the show. But the fact that this movie is gonna be a retelling of the original season, then I'm definitely all for it. I'll go ahead and watch this. This seems pretty cool. I have no doubt that this movie isn't gonna do well. So yeah, I hope you all enjoy this. It's gonna come out pretty soon, actually. Let me know what you all think in the comments below. Do you agree with me? Did I miss any details? Did I not point out any of the secrets and all the lore in the background? Tell me in the comments below what I missed. Also, let me know if there's anything you want me to talk about. I always read all my comments and I always need ideas, so please tell me ideas. I need more video ideas, please help. But yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I'll talk to you all next time. Goodbye!